So we'll move on real quick. Let's go see what's going on in Maiduguri, Borno State, to be precise. The situation there. Let's go. Okay. Now, you see that? You see that? You see that? The last few days we've been talking about this. It all started basically on Monday. That's a timeline. It started out on Monday, and it got worse on Tuesday, Wednesday, before the evacuation started. A lot of places are still submerged.
I mean, what do you say
about
to this? What do you say? I mean, I was watching, I think we're going to hook up with Ayola at some point during the show, just so we can get the situation report as well. You know what's strange about this skyline? That just before, we had done a skyline of the place without the flood. You know, so we know that these places that are covered in muddy water, actual roads and access routes. And now, muddy water everywhere. I keep worrying about the disease that flood brings. People don't realize it's something that kills. It kills more than the flooding. You know, the diseases that come with the flood. I saw the Minister of Health yesterday on our programs talking really about some of the work that they're doing to make sure that the impact of this is reduced to the barest minimum. So much work needs to be done. I mean, look at Maiduguri. This is the worst flooding, they say, in the past 30 years. Yeah. 30 years. We're listening to the news very intently to hear where the ball dropped. And something instructive was said at that NEMA meeting. Oh, this dam, who's been managing it? Because it's not just the flooding like we know. It's not just the rain that caused this flood. There's that situation with the dam. Was water released at intervals? Is the place being managed? What happened before the thing broke? You know, there's so much. And we've been talking about it, but I mean, we're going to continue talking about it until whoever or whatever group of people dropped the ball on this have to be brought to book. The death toll is too high. Those affected by this is too much. It is such a disaster. And Maiduguri is a massive place. Borno is a massive state. So for it to impact the state this much, something needs to be done to ensure that this never repeats itself again. And one of those ways is to punish whoever it is that has dropped the ball on this.
So it's as you said, it's not just one person that dropped the ball here. The governor, in one of his interviews, talked about what he did when he took office in his first tenure, going around visiting areas where the floodplain had been, because he had received information that there's likely to be a flood situation. And he was reaching out to the people, according to him, to move from the floodplains, but nobody moved, nobody budged. Now, the question some will ask is, for those buildings to have been constructed, someone would have given approval for those constructions to have taken place. So who gave those approvals? But he also talked about something else. The fact that the dam, the level of water that came into the dam by reason of the rains was above its capacity. So the dam itself needs to be revisited. It's not just about who's managing it, it's about the capacity. And he's talked about the need to reconstruct and expand the dam so that it can take more volumes of water, because the truth is, with climate change, you can't really predict. We have NEMA and the hydrological agencies talking about the likelihood of increased water inflows into the different parts of the country. And this is what we see here. It's a devastating situation. Earlier on, Ayola reported into the morning brief, and one of the victims she spoke to was talking about his experience. He's talking about the fact that he has not experienced this kind of situation before, that this is the worst they have seen since 1994. He says this is the worst they have seen. And
we have to be able to grow as a people. And I don't agree. You can predict. You can predict. It's your job. It's your job. Your job is to say, this is the situation, this is a likely problem that we might face. Let's do something about this now. So that's their job. That is your job. You're supposed to predict. You're supposed to think about the lives that could be lost as a result of, whatever it is that you're managing. If my job is to take care of this table, and I know that this table has a has something wrong with it, or the weight of our elbows on it is bad. I should be able to say, look, this is what the situation is, document it, scream until when something is done, and then when something is not done, you can say, look at what we have been complaining about. You know, it's a lot of governance. Governance, you know, when we talk about governance, it's not just getting into power or just occupying an office. Governance is thinking outside the box. There's a reason why you are on top of people. You're supposed to be able to think about the future, to plan ahead. You're supposed to see things that we on the ground cannot see, you know. It's an added responsibility and one that people have to live up to. Someone has done, or a group of people has not done their job. That's the truth. Someone hasn't done their job. Someone has entered into an office and then just sat there and being, this is my new office, and collecting all the accolades that come with that office. But there's a responsibility. And I think it cuts across board, not just in Borno here, just in the country as a whole.
Look,
you cannot just be happy with being in office. You have to realize that the responsibility is more.
While you talk about what the government and all of that's supposed to do, you know, we also need to look at what are the people doing when the instructions come, when they move from here. Guess what? Because of the level of distrust or mistrust, as the case may be, the low deficit in trust, the trust deficit. Some will say, they want to move us from here because they want to take our land. And those stories have happened all over the country. So while the leadership is also looking at the things that need to be done and instructing the people to move, going by the statements from the governor, there is need for the people to also believe that they're asking you to move is not to take your land. It's because there's likely to be a situation like this in certain places. And then we also need to manage our environment. Throwing waste into the drains is not helping in any way. So, but let's go on real quick and talk to our correspondent Ayola Kazim, who is currently in Maiduguri. And yes, indeed, Ayola, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you, and yourself?
Well, good. But seeing the water levels out there, I know that in some parts the water has receded, and where you're standing looks like there's no flood in that area. It's receded on that side. At least that's where the people are. But just bring us up to speed. What's going on now?
Well, as you said, the water level is receded, and thanks to the sun, you can see right now, I had to put on my hat because it's very, very sunny and hot. And if care is not taken from what we are seeing now, if the sun doesn't come out, you're going to see the place flooded as well. You can see everywhere is even marshy as it is as of now. So we all need the sun to come out for the people of Borno so that they can enjoy themselves. And earlier I spoke to the crew on morning brief, telling them that the people here, they've not seen the rise that's been promised, and they are hoping that something comes as quickly as possible, because this is an emergency. This is not the time to be sitting in committees and be saying that. That's what they're saying. They need something. And I have here with me, hello?
Yes,
we can hear you good.
Okay, and then I have here with me, actually, I was saying, the zonal coordinator of Northeast, especially Borno and Yobe State, Mr. Sirajo Garba, is going to join me now so that he will give us the situation report on what is going on. He said to me they're doing what they can, but I'm just going to ask you, don't take my word for it. Good morning, Mr. Sirajo. Yes, you said to me, you said you're doing what you can, but just talk us through what the situation is at the moment.
The situation at the moment is that the water is receding, and the evacuation and rescue of those that are trapped is most important. At the moment, a lot of hands on deck. We have our colleagues with other partners, most especially the military. They are doing a very good job. The Borno state government and Red Cross and several partners are doing all their best to make sure that those that have been trapped are rescued, because they've not had food, water, and the basic needs for more than 2 days now.
You said everybody is doing their best, but to the people that have been evacuated into this place as of this morning, they're saying the best is not good enough for them. because they've not eaten. They just got water supply this morning, and they don't think it's going to be enough. What are you doing about that?
Looking at the thousands of people that are affected in a situation like this, you can't do enough because of the number of people affected. However, as I said, the structures have been set up. As you can see, there are several partners. The camp coordination, camp management structures have been set up. The state government is also doing its best. They started the wet feeding the very day they established this camp. And we are all providing the necessary things we have. You can see the mobile clinic. For us, we started by providing emergency assistance to those that are distressed. And we've been also providing water. The water you're seeing here is not as a result of rainfall. It's the tanks that have been delivering the water. You can see storage tanks have been provided so that the water will be offloaded in them. And of course, we know it's inadequate. And we've been discussing this since yesterday to add additional cooking points and servers so that we would reach those that are affected. And we don't want a situation where there will be congestion. The registration here was stopped since day before yesterday, and it was expected to resume last night and continue, because at the moment we profiled 2,466 households here with a population of over 8,000 or 9,000 people. The more people we have here, we want to avoid an outbreak. So that is why the registration was stopped here, and it will continue.
Right. Before we saw people that are still, they slept in the street overnight because we moved around town. We came in late. So we moved around town around 10 p.m. and we saw people on the street. And they still don't have access. Where should they be going as of now?
For those that you saw outside, of course, they have the right to make their own decisions. Apart from the established camps by the Borno state government, there are other informal camps that spring up on their own. Some people feel it's not dignified for them to be in this situation. Some prefer to stay with relatives. So they are staying closer to the relatives in the host communities. You know, they prefer it that way. Some people prefer to stay closer to their houses because there are reports of theft, you know, in their houses, and they don't want to lose what they have. That is the reason you're seeing a lot of people, those that were caught up in the other axis are also crossing, because now there's access in some of the bridges like the Lagos Street Bridge. So people are crossing over on their own. Of course, they want to find the spot where they can just cool off, you know, and have their own, you know, peace. So definitely with over 3 local governments, Jere, MMC, Konduga, and parts of Mafa affected, we definitely don't have enough shelter to contain everybody. That is why you have seen for the locations that have been designated, we are providing additional tents, and we have those in our prepositioning, and we have also requested for addition from Abuja, which has been on the way. We've started taking deliveries since yesterday of additional inflatable boats, water purifiers, water tablets, you know, and so on and so forth.
So you said, okay, you're preparing wet meals. You yourself said it's not enough. And then you also have the clinic here.
Yes.
And you're trying to prevent outbreak. An empty stomach with unhygienic environment is a hotspot for diseases. What are you going to do?
For this, the environment that you are seeing, if you look around, you see that we have officials of the Borno State Environmental Protection Agency. They have been mandated by the state government to be in all the established camps 24 hours to make sure they clean up all those areas. And the state government has assured us they have the chlorine to treat all these areas, because there's a mix of water and sewage waste and all these places. So they have the capacity for that, and I believe if they need addition, there are other partners and government that are willing, to provide additional, and that is why we requested for the water purifiers and the control on the number of people that are coming into the camps. And mind you, some of these people there are taking advantage of the situation. We have persons that are not affected by these floods from the communities around these established camps. They also infiltrate into the camps, then at night they go back. If you have a place to go back to at night, it means you have a shelter. They are taking advantage of the free food, free medication, because we all know the situation at the moment. So they are taking advantage of that, and we're trying to avoid such a situation.
But then we have people like Musa Abba, that we spoke to earlier, and he said to us, his 5 children are missing, his wife doesn't know where she is. Where can they go to? Where can they go check for their loved ones? And if you are looking for your loved one, where can you go to?
Yes, we have the family tracing that is ongoing. This building you're saying is where we have the Office of the Coordination and Information Center. If you can go in with me or just have some few minutes, you would find some children and women that have been separated. The Red Cross, Save the Children have been doing their best. A lot of those separated from their parents have been connected. We still have a lot. We also have here. So in all the coordination offices within the camps, we have information is being disseminated, and those missing or separated are kept in a safe space until they are reconnected with their loved ones. And
what is your coordination with the military? Because some of them even said that they're just being bussed out of their area and just dumped somewhere. So what is your work with the military in coordinating people that are stranded?
The coordination with the military, of course, this is a civil operation. I cannot speak on behalf of the military, but the military is doing a lot. Go to the field, go to Abaganaram, go to custom area. Everyone is here to assist those that are in distress, and the military has done wonderfully well. I implore you to go out there as you are in the camp now to see live the operations that are being carried out on evacuations. Everybody, all hands should be put together. We have a very good relationship with them. In short, I was in a meeting with the GOC. We met yesterday. We met day before yesterday, the flood response committee. I was also communicated with the Air Force commander. They have established a medical outreach along the NAF base. So if you can find time, go there. They supported, there's a camp, Ali Sharif, where we had vomiting and diarrhea. We have not ascertained whether there's an outbreak. So the Borno State Emergency Protection Agency have responded. They have cleaned up the place. They have stationed their people. The personnel from the Air Force Clinic also came in, and treated those that were affected. We also have a roving medical intensive care unit with my personnel. They are going around apart from this mobile clinic that you have seen here. So I believe we all have a very good working relationship. Nobody is trying to take credit for this. I think it would be wrong for anybody to try to take credit in trying to save people. So I believe everybody is trying his best to see that support is being given. We have a very splendid relationship with them.
I wish you all the best. Definitely, we'll be keeping up to date, and we are coming to see what you're doing over there too.
Come and see the children. They are here. They are here. There's a space that has been provided for them, and we appreciate the ICIC, the Red Cross, Save the Children. They are trying their best, and they have been connecting people with their loved ones. Yes.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
So that's it. That's the situation as of now here at the Bakassi camp on the Dumbwa Road in Borno State. We don't know really so many thousands of people on the streets still need the help, and then coordinated effort, just like you've heard, is what is needed at this time so that people can have the best they actually deserve.
All right.
Nota.
Yeah, thank you, Ayola. We do hope, do try and stay safe. We know that Maiduguri or Borno is not the only place where the floods have hit. I know that in Kebbi, for instance, the government is setting up committees to look at how to mitigate any occurrence of floods. But we do try and stay safe, and we hope that things work out for the people of Borno and the other states that are flooded. Our correspondent Ayola Kazim in Maiduguri, Borno State, where the floods have hit the worst so far, and hopefully won't have a situation worse than what we're seeing right there.